Just a day out before the massive match against Qatar, we have a huge Canada roster update and a massive blow to the squad, as Canada Soccer yesterday came out announcing that Jonathan Osorio will be staying back in Toronto to continue his recovery process from his neurological dysfunction. And of course, this is a massive loss and a huge blow to John Herdman's squad, and of course, the World Cup preparations against Qatar and Uruguay, as these are huge matches, but this leaves his squad in a very poor spot. Only having now 4 healthy midfielders is not a great spot to be in. Of course, with Atiba Hutchinson already out, now you have the likes of Jonathan Osorio, two locks for the World Cup, not there now. You now have 4 healthy midfielders in the CF Montreal boys in Ismail Akone and Samuel Piet, 2 guys who are fit, who are firing on all cylinders and playing extremely well right now heading into the playoffs. And then you also have Marc-Anthony Kaye, who is extremely out of form for Toronto FC, and Stephen Eustáquio playing the best football of his life. You only have 4 healthy midfielders, and this is a reason why in my squad preview video I said Victor Latorre should have been in this squad. And because we are so thin in the midfield, and John Herdman more than likely is going to adopt the 4-4-2 system, and maybe have Larea in there so you can swing to a back 3 or back 5 or what have you. But right now, you can't have this thin of a midfield. 4 men in a 2-man midfield, you're leaving yourself very thin. If another injury happens, if you get a suspension, someone gets a sickness, it's just not a great spot to leave yourself in, and it shows what our midfield situation currently is. And Victor Latorre should have been here in my opinion. He is in great form, he's playing very well in a decent league, and he is still playing a quality football. But you look at how thin our midfield is, Victor Latorre should have been there. And is someone going to get called up? By the sounds of it, I don't think they will be. Liam Fraser is probably the next man up, as it looks like from the brotherhood situation of the man that John Herdman likes. For me, I think he needs to send a statement out to Liam Fraser saying you're not in a good enough league, you need to be stepping up your game. Because I think Liam Fraser has a bit more potential than the Belgian second division. I don't know why he's still playing there. I think he has more to show in his game. But he's not going to break the squad playing the Belgian second division. And I really hope he doesn't get that call up. I think Victor Latorre deserves this, and I hope he gets it. But right now, it's not looking like anyone's going to get the call up. But unfortunately, Jonathan Osorio is staying back in Toronto, and he's going to continue his recovery process from his neurological dysfunction. Yes, it's a huge loss this window, because it would be perfect to see him and Stephen Eustáquio and Ismail Akone get the tryout against these top squads in Qatar, and of course Uruguay, which is the massive match we do have coming up next week. But this is huge, and the fact that Jonathan Osorio isn't there is a huge blow, as well as Atiba Hutchinson. But these players need to make sure they're fit and make sure they're ready for the time that the World Cup comes around. And Jonathan Osorio needs to make sure he's in the fit shape and the best shape of his life going to the World Cup. Because right now, he's going to have 5 weeks without football, as his Toronto FC side are not in the playoffs. And that is a huge blow to him as a lock for the playoffs. That is why I think Ismail Akone is going to lock down that role. And maybe Samuel Piet could sneak in, maybe ahead of Osorio, depending on what really happens here. But I don't think that's possible, because Osorio plays a completely different role than Samuel Piet. But we also do have another update with the roster and the squad, as earlier today I did see a tweet, and it was reported from Oliver Platt, and he did come out saying that DONEIL Henry is in camp with Canada but appears to be limited to light individual work. For me, maybe this is just a brotherhood situation. I hope he's just there for the brotherhood, the good vibes that DONEIL Henry brings to the squad and to the roster, as maybe he's brought up as a player coach or helping around in the staff. Because for me, maybe he's just getting reps, but for me, he should not be in the squad. He should not be playing. DONEIL Henry is not better than Waterman. He's not better than any of these center backs we currently have on this roster. And we have a very talented center back pool right now. And Steven Vittoria, Joel Waterman, Scott Kennedy, Derek Cornelius. It is a great group, and I think Derek Cornelius is quality as well, and I think he deserves a chance. And even looking at Lucas McNaughton, I don't think DONEIL Henry is even better than Lucas McNaughton right now. DONEIL Henry's played himself out of the squad, and he's been extremely poor. So I'm really wondering why he's there and why he's even training. Maybe he's just there to get fit. Maybe John Herdman's there bringing him up for the brotherhood, the camaraderie, and everything that goes along with it. But for me, If it's anything more than brotherhood, then I'm very concerned because he doesn't deserve to get a look in for the World Cup, or he doesn't deserve to get a look in for any of these friendlies. That's why he wasn't announced in this roster. And it's just very curious to see that he's actually there in Bratislava when we could have other players there as well. Maybe Liam Fraser should be there, maybe Victor Lattori, maybe we should just have more midfield depth there in general. And it's very interesting to see why Herdman didn't prioritize more and just give other players a chance, test them out. But it's a very interesting situation here, and it's very cool to see that DONEIL Henry is there, but I hope it's just for the brotherhood and the good vibes, because he should not be anywhere near this roster anymore. But hopefully Jonathan Osorio can recover as soon as possible and maybe find a squad and somewhere to go, or get that contract done and join another club in time before the World Cup starts, because he needs to be playing some consistent football. And it's unfortunate to see that he has had this problem as well with Toronto FC. There's neurological dysfunction, but I hope all goes well for Jonathan Osorio and that he's able to get healthy and fit for the World Cup time and be at his best, because this is going to be the best football of his life come around for the World Cup. Guys, make sure to hit that sub button, drop a like down below, and hit the comments and let me know what you guys think of this Jonathan Osorio situation, who should be called up, and what's going on with DONEIL Henry. I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.